stand up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You and me. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sunset, it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue.
Hey guys, Charlani here. Thanks so much for tuning in. My sister, who will remain faceless, we are driving to San Francisco and I am so excited. We are just tripping around. She and I are both like super planners and we usually have like a very specific detailed itinerary when we go anywhere, but today we are just going to see where the wind takes us. It is very cold here in San Francisco, but I am layered, Miley is layered, so I think we will be just fine. And I'm pretty sure we could probably buy some jackets here. So we're gonna go find some fun, festive things, and we'll take you along with us.
All night long we're gonna dance, dance, and have a good time. I think Santa's gonna come and join us in this song. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas.
We got into Union Square and we decided that this would be the hub, so we drove around and we actually found a really nice parking garage. We totally lucked out on the parking situation because sometimes when you go to San Francisco, parking can be not so fun, but this was actually amazing. All right, so we found a place to park in this super fancy, really nice parking garage. It's like just fancy that this is very much less expensive than the Pier 39 parking from the last San Francisco vlog I did. We were doing a whole lot of window shopping and we ended up going into this store here that was uber fancy, and I had a really big backpack on. I wish I would have taken a picture of it because it had like all our stuff. So my sister was like, you have to be careful. I mean, things in here were like thousands of dollars. Thousands. It was crazy. So we ended up leaving there, obviously, but there were so many like bougie stores here. Oh, I loved it. It was so much fun. So then we found Neiman Marcus, and this place was just all the holiday and Christmas vibes. Like, I was looking for places that we could go where I could see Christmas decorations and all the things, and Neiman Marcus did not disappoint. We did consider doing a little bit of shopping, but we also knew that we had a lot of walking around, a lot of sightseeing to do, and we didn't want to have a bunch of packages to carry. But if we were to have purchased anything, it would have been here. Cookies, the mini bundt cakes, the popcorn, and everything was packaged so cute. Would have been wonderful to take this stuff home, but again, we just didn't want to have to carry anything. Now this section here, the Mackenzie Child section, OMG, I absolutely have fallen in love with this design. It's so very Alice in Wonderland, and they have these pumpkins that I cannot wait to get next year. We have a Neiman Marcus here in Dallas, so I'm really thinking that I want to purchase these right here. So definitely going to save up for next Halloween. My sister had just said, stop touching everything. And then this happened. But here's the thing. So many of these trees were not fluffed. It was making me crazy. It looked like they had just taken them out of storage and literally just set them up. So as I was walking around, I was like, oh my gosh, like these branches need to just be fluffed up just a little bit and straightened out. But I did give up on doing it because there were so many of them that I just let it go. I was super disappointed that there was not an FAO Schwartz in San Francisco. It was one of the main reasons I wanted to come to San Francisco during the holidays, just because I know that they go all out with decorations, and it would have been really, really cool to see. But they sadly are no longer in San Francisco, which was such a bummer for me. But that's okay. I still was able to get a lot of the Christmas vibes in many of the other stores, and Macy's here definitely did not disappoint. We took a quick peek into the Westin Saint Francis on Union Square. It's an iconic hotel here in San Francisco. It's been here since 1904, and the lobby is super elegant. There's restaurants, and I really wanted to see their big tree and the holiday vibes. It was fantastic, absolutely gorgeous. I am so happy that my sister suggested that we make Union Square kind of our hub, because not only could we get to a lot of the shopping and a lot of the stores and just to kind of see Union Square itself, but this is also where we could get on a cable car. And I have never been on one. And I don't know, my parents might say different because maybe when I was really little I went on one, but I do not remember it. And these have been here since 1873. This is one of the last running cable car systems in the world. So I was so excited when we were able to hop on. And they do have a museum that at some point I do want to go into, because I think it would be really cool to see the history and just all the things, because again, this was a really cool thing to do. When we originally hopped on, we actually sat in the middle. And by the time we had gone several blocks, people were able to hop off and hop on. So we were able to move to the very front. And I'm so glad I did, because this is like the view from the very front of the cable car, which is just so cool. It took us all the way down a Fisherman's Wharf where we hopped off, and then we just walked down to Ghirardelli Square. And this is a place I also have never been to. There are lots of different shops. This was the original chocolate factory, and now it's a bunch of shops, it's a bunch of restaurants, and very, very cool place to be. We were super hungry and we were thinking that we were going to grab lunch here, but I'll be really honest with you, it smelled a little weird in there. So we went over to the Ghirardelli marketplace, and this was everything. We ended up getting sundaes that were absolute heaven, and it was a really good holdover. In fact, we didn't eat anything else until we went to dinner, and yeah, this was the place to be. I ordered the Treasure Island brownie sundae, and my sister got a salted caramel brownie sundae. So yeah, really, really good. We didn't do a lot of purchasing and buying. We did do a lot of window shopping, but I did grab a couple pairs of socks for my kids, and I also grabbed a pair of socks for Rob because that's kind of his thing. And then I love stores like this that just have a little bit, they're just boutique style. They have a lot of little knickknacks. This is where you can find some of the most fun gifts. I had no idea that there was a beach here in San Francisco. No idea. This is between Fisherman's Wharf and Ghirardelli Square, and there were actually people in this water swimming, some of them without wetsuits. I can't even imagine. So as we were walking towards where the shops and the stores were, I asked a lady who was getting out of the water. She was like getting in her car. I'm like, why would you do that? And she said, just because we just like to swim. And then she said, and it's really cold. I was like, you think? So we walked around. We did a little bit of window shopping. My sister actually did buy a sweatshirt because we decided to go on one of the tour buses, and we knew that it was going to be really cold because the weather might have looked really beautiful out, but it was pretty chilly. So the next bus was leaving in like 45 minutes, so we checked out the Ripley's Believe It or Not, we walked by the Madame Tussauds Museum, and then we hopped onto the bus. All right, we are going to ride the tour bus. This is gonna be fun. And we are literally the only people on this. So cool. So we think we are on the red line. We think we did the Golden Gate Bridge one. So we should go to all of those places. So we're gonna go to the Golden Gate Bridge. We're gonna see all kinds of things. The tour was super cool, and our driver told about the history of the city, the history of the buildings, and I absolutely loved hearing about how long some of these structures have been here. And they've been here for a long time.
One of the very first Italian fishing families to become U.S. citizens here in San Francisco, through Angel Island. Employed over 2,500 workers, open 7 days a week, 12 months out of the year. Opened up in 1907, closed in 1937 due to a contract dispute in Stockton, California.
So as you can hear, it was really, really windy. And of course, even if it wasn't a cold day, it would still be really windy up on that second deck of the bus. But it was really, really cold up here. So I was very thankful that I had brought a beanie along with me. My sister bought a hoodie so that she could cover her ears because it was so cold. It had been raining the whole week, and it was like on this day, the clouds decided to let the sun shine in, which was absolutely amazing. It was super neat to see the city from this perspective, and like most big cities, there are some beautiful spots, some not so great spots, lots of construction, but this was such a cool view. There's definitely a lot of history here. Obviously, San Francisco is one of the most iconic and historic cities in the country, and so many movies have been filmed here. So a lot of, as we were going through things, our tour guide was explaining some of the things that have been filmed here. So it was pretty cool. We were coming up to the Golden Gate Bridge, and we were so lucky to be here on such a clear and beautiful day. We were able to see all the way across the bay, and it was awesome and absolutely gorgeous. It was also a little bit freaky to be so high up without any protection on top, because if you stood up, like literally decapitated.
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion.
But look at that. How beautiful is that?
Yeah, let's go outside.
It's about here when I thought, I really wish I had gloves.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time.
The Golden Gate Bridge is a suspension bridge that was built in 1937. The towers are 746 feet tall. You can walk across it, bike across it, run across it. And I think he said it was 1 mile across, and it gets 10 million visitors a year. That is so many. They have this little lookout where you can take pictures and video and all the things. It was very cool. And again, how awesome is it that we were so lucky to be here on this day when it was so clear? You could see the city all the way across the bay, and that's just so lucky, so lucky.
Just get better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling.
I wish I would have paid a little more attention to this part of the tour, because this is Fort Baker. I believe it's Fort Baker, and it is an old army post in Marin with, oh my gosh, it was absolutely breathtaking. And I'm definitely thinking that it's a place that Rob and I are going to need to visit. They have bed and breakfasts there. They have 5-star restaurants there. I think it would be a really cool place to visit for like a weekend. And we have a big anniversary coming up, so maybe.
Good time to dance, dance all night long. We're gonna dance, dance and have a good time. I think Santa's gonna come and join us in this song. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sanctuary. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart.
One of my favorite things is to look at houses and to see how people live and like imagine what their lifestyle would be like. And there's such diversity here in San Francisco. And the guide was telling us that in between the buildings, there are these little cottages that are tucked away. There's only a handful left, and that's one of them. I so wish we could have looked inside, but somebody actually lives there. We're coming up on the Haight-Ashbury neighborhood, and I was so excited because there is a ton of rock and roll history here. It's a super hippie vibe and still very much like it was in the 60s. There's a hodgepodge of vintage clothing stores and boutiques, record shops, dive bars, bookstores, eclectic restaurants. There are a bunch of like artsy places and such beautiful murals on a lot of the buildings as well. And some have been on here for years and years. And oh, look at that. So cool. This was a pretty cool little nugget of information that he shared too, was that you could buy the house plans, these Craftsman stick mansions, from the Sears and Roebuck's catalog for about $1,500, and then you can get a contractor to put it together for you for like another $2,000. So you'd have one of those little houses for $3,500 back in the day. Isn't that amazing? So these are the cable car wires, and they are live wires, and we're up so high that you literally could have lifted your hand up and touched them. I'm just wondering how many people have actually tried to touch one. So this green multi-million-dollar home would have been one of the stick mansions that you would have purchased on the Sears and Roebuck catalog. That gray one too. Isn't that just the coolest thing? The tour ride was a good couple of hours and the sun was starting to go down, so it was time for us to head back. Now, like I said, there are good and bad places in all big cities, and tour buses in San Francisco are actually restricted from certain areas when it's getting dark. So a little bit ominous. So it was definitely time for us to be done. So the way that we did it was we took the cable car down to Fisherman's Wharf, and then we took the tour bus back and hopped off at Union Square. So it was perfect because this is where we parked. And bonus was that we were then able to see Union Square with all the lights on. We are in the White House garage, and I'm telling you guys, this is so nice in here. Like, the floors are super shiny and sparkly. Love. Love, love, love. Thanks so much for spending the day with us here in San Francisco. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, I'd love it if you did, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.